Good morning, second graders. Today we are on page 1 of your new student journal. We're on page 1, and our objective today says, today I will equally partition rectangles, and Miss Munoz is going to draw a rectangle because I'm running out of room. So today I will equally partition rectangles into rows and columns. Okay, friends, so let's look at what that means. So equally partition. So equally means to make them the same size. Partition means to cut. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be cutting rectangles into parts that are the same size, and we're going to use rows and columns. And we'll talk about these words in our vocabulary also. Okay, so let's look at our first word is a rectangle, and they give us a picture of what a rectangle looks like. So a rectangle is something we call a quadrilateral because it has 4 sides. Our next word is partition. Partition means to divide objects into equal shares. This is a key word, friends, equal. When we partition, we have to make sure the parts are as equal as possible. And then our next 2 words kind of go together. It's rows. Rows go left to right or horizontal. So rows go this direction. And our next word says columns go up and down or vertical. That's a column. Okay, so here is a rectangle that was partitioned. So let's outline the outside of the rectangle. That was our rectangle, and they partitioned it. They divided it into equal shares. So how many rows are there, friends? Let's look. There's 1 row, 2 rows. So I go this direction. So there's 2 rows. And columns go up and down. So how many columns are there? There's 1 column, 2 columns, 3 columns. So this rectangle has been partitioned into 2 rows and 1, 2, 3 columns. Now it says each part is the same size. They are equal shares or parts. How many parts are in that rectangle now? How many parts have we cut it into? Let's count them. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 6 equal shares or parts in that rectangle. And that's what we're going to be practicing today, boys and girls. Okay, so I'm going to get started with my first problem. And my first problem says, equally partition a rectangle into 4 columns. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is I need to draw my shape. So my shape is a rectangle, so I'm going to draw a rectangle. So here is my rectangle. Okay, and they want me to partition it into 4 columns. So columns go up and down. Now, boys and girls, it doesn't mean I draw 4 lines. That means I need to have 4 sections. So this is where sometimes some friends get tricked, is they think I need to draw 4 lines, but I don't. How many do I have now? I have 1 column, 2 columns. And now I have 1 column, 2 columns, 3 columns, 4 columns. But boys and girls, I didn't make 4 lines. I actually only made 1 line, 2 lines, 3 lines. That's how I chose to partition it. And now they're not going to be perfectly equal, but they're about the same size. Now, if I churned this, then these would look like 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. But because it's this way, I have 4 columns. It didn't tell me that I had to partition it into rows. Okay, let's look at my next one. It says, equally partition a rectangle into 3 rows and 2 columns. Okay, So my shape is a rectangle. So let me draw my rectangle. And they want me to partition it into 3 rows. Well, rows go this direction. So it means going this direction, I need 3 parts. So, I think I'm gonna do 1 line here and 1 line here. So I have 1 row, 2 rows, 3 rows. But I didn't draw 3 lines, I only drew 2 lines. Okay, they also want me to partition it into 2 columns. So they want columns go up and down. They want 2 parts going up and down. So I can do this. So let's check that. I have 1, 2, 3 rows, and I have 1, 2 columns. Okay, my next question says, how many equal shares are created? How many equal parts are in my rectangle now? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 equal shares or equal parts. Okay, let's go on to my next one. I know normally I only have 2. Today I have 3. Okay, so equally partition a rectangle. So I'm going to get started with my rectangle into 4 rows. So they want 4 rows. Okay, when I do 4, I like to do it in half. So into 2, 1 row, 2 row, and then I'll cut those in half. It's kind of my trick. So how many rows do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, because rows are horizontal. And they want me to do 3 columns, and columns are up, down. So 3, let's see. I only had to draw 2 lines, but now I have 1 column, 2 columns, 3 columns. Okay, my next question says, how many equal shares are created? So let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 12 equal shares or 12 equal parts. Okay, friends, let's do some of these together. We are on page 2 of your student journal. On page 2 of your student journal, and here's our first problem. It says, equally partition a rectangle. Okay, so let's stop really quick and let's draw our rectangle. I'm going to draw a large one. I think it's easier if you draw a large one. So there's my rectangle. And they want us to equally partition it into 2 rows. Okay, so boys and girls, rows are horizontal. They're that direction. So they want to have 2 rows go across. So let's put a line right in the middle and horizontal. So I have 1 row, 2 rows. Okay, they also want us to partition it into 4 columns. Columns go up and down. So columns go this direction. So let's put a vertical line right in the middle. And then let's put a vertical line in the middle of that part and in the middle of that part. So we have, let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. Okay, our next part says, find the total number of equal parts. Okay, so let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 equal parts. Okay, boys and girls, let's go on to one more. Here's our last one together. It says, equally partition a rectangle. Okay, let's pause and draw a rectangle. And remember, it's easiest if we draw a large one. Okay, into 3 rows. Okay, when we do stuff into odd numbers, it's a little trickier. So we have to kind of imagine 3. So I would maybe go up about here and here. So sometimes I kind of like to look at it. That would give me 3, but it's a little trickier when you do the 3. So there's 1, 2 lines, but then I get 1, 2, 3 rows, because remember rows are horizontal. Okay, the next part says 6 columns. Columns go up and down. This one might be tricky as well, so I'm going to show you how I would do 6. Columns are this direction, so I would first go in half. So I have 1, 2, but I need 6. So then this one I need to break into 3 parts, because I need 3 parts and 3 parts to get 6. So let's kind of see where we could put our lines. Maybe there. And the same here. Let's do like 2 lines. So remember, we don't have to be perfect. We just want to make them as close as possible. But let's count them and make sure we're right. We have 1 column, 2 columns, 3 columns, 4 columns, 5 columns, 6 columns. Okay, so how many equal shares do we have? Because it says find the total number of equal shares. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We partitioned that into 18 equal shares. Okay, boys and girls, have a wonderful day. Bye.